the SyFy Sistas podcast, where we give you our point of view. I'm Tamia Harper, and I am joined today by my sisters, Yvette Blackman-Tom.
Hello.
And Fran T.
And as always, y'all, what's happening?
What's happening is the band is back together.
Yay!
Yay! It's an all SyFy Sistas show coming today, and we're pretty happy about that, honestly.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we've gotten to just talk. Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For the peoples.
For the peoples, right? And I mean, we talk, and it's the 60th anniversary of Trek. We're celebrating it all year. Mm-hmm. And, that means that we should have some stuff to talk about. You should see Fran, y'all. She's tripping out over here on this.
That's right.
She's celebrating. She's celebrating. So, we got fun stuff to talk about. Today, it's a thing that a lot of Trek fans talk about, but I know we sisters have been talking about this mess for a long time.
Yes, ma'am.
We are talking about caves. Those damn caves. Caves in Star Trek. Why, oh why, Star Trek, do we love caves so much? There's so many caves.
All over the place.
Yeah. It's like lore. It's canon. It's canon outside of Trek. Thanks to the TNG cast who always complains about the cave shows, because they used to call it Planet Hell Studio.
Yeah.
A studio. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot the name of the studio, but yeah, I love that.
So we decided to take a look at some of our favorite cave episodes. Okay, so let's get this straight. Mm-hmm. This is by no means, just like Fran and I did before, this is by no means an exhaustive list, and it is not a top 10.
No.
Okay? Mm-mm. We're not doing an official top 10. This is just, we want to talk about why there's so many caves in Star Trek, what's the attraction to these episodes often, and which ones are some of our favorites or some of the ones that are standouts to us. Like that's what we're doing here today. Mm-hmm. So, why are there so many cave episodes in Star Trek?
Think about it.
It was cheap.
Exactly.
They already had a studio, they already had a lot to use, and so that's what they did. They used it, and they've been using it for 60 years. Mm-hmm. Well, not 60, because they weren't filming when Discovery came in that lot, but still they used caves.
They use
caves anyway. So
for decades.
For decades, yes.
Yeah, because cave sets could be really easily built. Mm-hmm. They could be reused.
Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't have to go outside for exterior shots, which cost money. You have to mobilize all that equipment and people to go outside.
Yeah, no extras.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No extras. Mm-hmm.
Well, at least not a lot of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so you could turn the same cave set into a different planet if you wanted to. It's just like foam rock.
Mm-hmm. Or not.
Right. Or not. Or it could just be another damn cave.
Yeah. It was so cheap. And especially in TOS, y'all, it looked like it was styrofoam or cardboard. So,
yeah, definitely.
That's the budget.
For real.
Yeah.
And especially now that if we look at TOS now, everything is high def and shit. I don't want to watch TOS in high def.
I do not.
Let me watch it like it was back on my grandma's TV where I couldn't tell everything was as cheap as it was.
I'm still watching it. I'm just a diehard. Of course. Watch it and say, okay, that's some cheap shit looking there. But that's okay. It's TOS.
That's right.
And that's true, because when it comes down to it, it's truly only about the story.
That's all.
Mm-hmm. It's always about the story. And caves are really effective metaphors and story. They're really
Yes.
effective vehicles for telling stories. Like they draw you in close, close on character, because you don't have any extraneous external shit going on. It's really like what's happening inside these characters. Caves have always represented something deeper in human psychology, right? Like caves, from mythology on, you go in a cave, you're going underground, you're going into the subconscious and into the psyche, or you're talking about traveling to the land of the dead, or so caves have always provoked like much deeper feelings in humans, and have been used throughout millennia, you know, to evoke these feelings, and to stage these types of dialogues, right? But particularly when you're talking about telling a sci-fi story in something that's not, even if it's a cave on another planet, it's still a geological formation. Like, it is so anti-sci-fi in a way. Like there's like, like there's nothing high tech happening in a cave. It's fucking rock.
That's it.
you know?
What did Mariner say?
Cave is really
Nothing like a
active.
bunch of rocks to defeat centuries of technology.
Right? Centuries of technological advancement are
Right.
defeated by rock, by
Right.
layers of rock, And then, but then what that gives you sometimes are like, it talks that you get up getting stories about human resourcefulness, right? Because you can't rely on your technology. You have to rely on your own skills and wits in the cave. And then you end up getting stories that are a lot of times looking deep inside a character, and then sometimes you end up just getting some stupid shit.
Yeah.
So,
but also to piggyback on that, in human evolution, we've found out, archaeologists have found all these like ancient writings and hieroglyphics in caves.
yes.
In caves where they just, drew on the walls and stuff. And that's how they discovered that these people lived here. They did that in caves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caves like make you feel like, I love caves personally. Like I wasn't like a hardcore spelunker, but I would go caving with my friends, and I haven't been in years, and I don't know that my knees could really handle it like they used to, because there was a lot of scrambling around and in tight spaces and stuff. But I love being in a cave. There's something very womb like. I feel very just protected and cozy and comfortable. And it makes sense that caves were some of human beings' first dwellings,
Yeah.
you could be out of the shelter, you could easily defend yourself against intruders. There's only one entrance most of the time, depending on how large the cave is or cave system. You know what I'm saying? So like, but I've always loved being inside caves, and it always felt very alien to me, because I'm used to the surface world, and I'm not used to what's underground. And it seems like it's lifeless down there, but it's not. There are bugs and other creatures and stuff who live in those dark environments like that. And sometimes it's damp and there's moss and other things. Sometimes you can find underground water. It's just amazing, the type of life that goes on in caves.
I've never been in a cave.
I'm a big fan of caves.
I know I live in Virginia, and they have these famous caves here.
The Luray Caverns and stuff.
I've never been in a cave.
Yeah, we have lots of caves. I forgot the caverns. We have them a little farther upstate, and I'm not crazy about them, but that's one of the places you would go as a kid to see how caverns,
trips
like
and stuff. Yeah.
Caves are not for everybody. They're really not. Like, I remember one time we were going caving, and there was this little bitty opening, and I had to turn around backwards and shimmy through this opening to put my foot on a ledge that I couldn't see. And it was like my first time doing this, and I was freaking out. Like the fear overcame me so much because I couldn't feel the ledge. Like I had to, and my friends were like, look, the ledge is like right there. It's just a couple of inches below, like
Oh,
where your
they
foot
were
is.
warfing you. That's what they were
They
doing.
were, and they were like, come on, you can do it. You can do it. And I was like, but also like, okay, for full context, this is when I was in AmeriCorps
Oh,
and I went on this outing with a bunch of friends who were new to me, but they were also all white.
mm-mm.
Yeah. So, white people always get us killed first in every movie.
The black
And
chick
they're
goes
doing
first.
some dumb shit. And my black ass would have deserved to have gotten killed because I
You
was out
would-
there
I
in the
was just
woods
getting ready
with
to
them
say that. You was gonna
in a
give it-
fucking cave.
Just got first.
But you know what? I did. They're also the same people who took me rappelling for the first time and rock climbing. And I had some amazing experiences with these folks. So,
Did you rappel off the cliff?
yeah, we did. It was
Okay.
low. It was low.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't super high.
Okay.
To me, out there, white people and with white people.
I was too. I was hardcore.
Doing white people shit.
I was white people and all over the place. I was camping and shit and hiking and whatnot. It was great.
That's
I
right.
loved it. I was like, why should they own?
I like
why should
camping.
they own this? I love camping.
Camping is cool. I sleep the best. The best sleep I ever had was outside.
Outside.
Camping.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me
Even
too. In California for me.
We camp in the backyard. We used to camp in the backyard all the time with the kids. It's the best sleep you could get.
I love it.
Put those badasses right to sleep.
Yes. Like, oh my God. So I have stories.
We didn't really go camping down here. We, white people went camping.
Mhm.
Our venture was going to the beach.
Yes.
And fishing and crabbing.
I'm in for that.
Fishing and crabbing. Yep.
And crabbing at the beach.
Yeah.
So I didn't go camping until I was in my 40s.
Okay.
Oh wow.
It was on a job. I was working with adults with intellectual disabilities, and we packed up and went. And y'all, shit, I was good at it. I'm like, I like it. But some other ladies, they was too cute. They had their hair in their nails. I'm like, shit. Let me at the campfire. I had
There you go.
Exactly.
I had all.
That's
I had a blast.
part.
I would love to go camping again, but maybe not as hardcore as I used to.
Glamping.
We should. It's SyFy Sistas. Glamping. Exactly. Glamping trip. Because I'm not sleeping on the ground anymore.
In a tent. You're not going to.
I love pitching a tent. And if I can fit a little teeny air mattress in there, maybe.
Yeah,
but that's still a little too low for me. Like, but I mean, I'm not sleeping on the ground anymore.
Okay.
If I'm going to do that kind of camping, somebody's got to pay me. That was the military.
Oh yeah, you did all that in the military. That's like going back to work for you.
Let me tell you, no,
that's not pleasurable.
Glamping. SyFy Sister glamping.
Okay. All right.
We get a lot of people to go with us too. Okay.
But we do digress in a most major way.
We are.
But it was fun though.
Okay, yeah.
So back to the caves, so we know that caves are rife through every Star Trek iteration. There's a friggin' cave. Right?
Yes.
And I don't know if there was one in Picard. There might have been one, but I think that damn basement of his certainly counted as a fucking cave. So
I think that they were in space most of the time, weren't they?
No, on season 2, they were like, he was like,
I have no clue.
They're all up in talking about his mama and whatnot.
Oh, right. I guess.
Mm-hmm. That house. That house was
right. But then they went underground into the basement part, which had like these old dungeon looking things. I'm like,
it was a cave. It was probably the cave scene
built out of a cave. I'm sure built out of a cave wall. It was some dirt.
It was the cave set.
They had a dungeon in the bottom of their house. I'm like, shorty, what's up, Europeans? It's like Philly fans. Like, why do you have a jail underneath your stadium? It just tells me everything I need to know about you.
That right there.
You have a dungeon in your house, and you people have a jail underneath your stadium. I don't need to know anything else.
There's a reason for all of that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm done.
What happened, Fred?
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
So, okay, but we're going to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So back to the caves. Please. Like I said, they're rife. They're so rife throughout Trekdom that Lower Decks even has an entire episode dedicated to the whole trope of the caves.
Yes.
Right,
and
Yvette?
yes, and it is probably my favorite cave episode because, of course, Lower Decks, and they are just, they just go in on it, and I just love that. So Caves, Lower Decks, season 4, episode 8. It was written by Ben Roger and directed by Megan Lloyd. The Lower Deckers go on a classic cave mission. They are now Lieutenant JG, so they don't get to be paired up to do missions anymore. So they're going to this cave to research moss. And of course, as as Beckett says,
Search moss.
this is not going to turn out well. She hates caves from the minute they're transported, start transporting till they transport there. Tremors ensue, and then there's a cave in, and of course, no comms. Perfect. She goes, a bunch of rocks always beat centuries of technological progress. Perfect. And that is caves in a nutshell, in a paragraph, basically.
Right? That's every cave episode. I like, can't get a transporter lock. Check. No comms. Check.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Right. There's a
Can you hear me
malevolent
now?
there's a malevolent force or entity.
Yes.
Check.
This might be the cave itself.
Right. That just might be the cave itself.
Sentient cave.
Sentient caves.
Well, the great thing about this one is not only was it a cave episode, but they actually told each other about cave to
Cave tales.
right. They had cave tales to help them get out of this cave issue.
Out of this cave issue. But cave tales also that harkened back to
yes.
classic Trek cave episodes.
So the best part of this episode are the cave tales.
Yes.
Because they are the best. Boimler is with Steve Levy, which is insane anyway, because Steve Levy's just, they were like, Steve.
If he were black, he'd be conspiracy brother.
Yeah. It's the Vendorians' morality plot. So it's all conspiracies, and of course, they end up not being so false, not being such a conspiracy. Rutherford and Ta'ana and their kid, which like everybody, including the Deckers, the Lower Deckers, are going, excuse me, what? A kid?
Right,
You had a
excuse
kid?
me, what? You have a kid?
Right.
With Dr. Ta'ana?
Right. What is happening? Right. You never told us. But I love this one because it harks back to The Child and TNG.
Mm.
It harks back to Unexpected from Enterprise, which plug Tamia and Fran do a Patreon podcast called Enterprising Sistas, and they're doing season 1 of Star Trek Enterprise. And I believe you guys already did Unexpected, right?
Yeah, we did Unexpected already.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, that was at the beginning.
And it also does hark back to TOS Devil in the Dark, the classic.
Yeah.
Because, there's what is it called? The Garflack? What is it? The Graflack. The Graflack. And, the Graflack is just a mama trying to save her baby. They think it's a horrible,
monster.
You mean
monster,
caves? Yeah.
in the monster, and it ends up being a mama trying to save her baby. So I love that. I mean, they do so much in 25 minutes.
And they're hilarious. And it's hilarious.
And it's not even that it's hilarious. The writing
is so
impeccable. Because listen, we have seen a lot of Trek, and they don't do as much with 45 minutes as these guys do with 25 minutes.
Watching Enterprise. So,
ciao. And my favorite, and only reason it's my favorite, is because it's Mariner and Delta Shift. And the comedy timing of every word in this little vignette is just pure genius.
Yeah.
It's just being genius. Yeah. And then we end up with Tendi, who does not have a cave story. It's a turbo lift story, but probably the most endearing one. And it's right after No Small Parts. I think that's the first episode. And we get to see what happens after, which I thought was so cute.
Yeah.
With them, they're drunk, they're playing games, they pee in the corner. It's just the best.
It's
And then
so funny. It's
right,
like,
and then Shaq screams and scares the heck out of
right.
everybody. So I love caves. I watch caves a lot. It's just fun. It's just and it came in the 4th season, and there's a lot of fun episodes, but that one really sticks out because of the writing. The writing is so good, and it's a love letter to the caves trope. It's not even a play on it to make fun of it. It's actually,
No,
I
right.
believe, a love letter to it, and how
Absolutely.
great those episodes really are. Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree. I watched that again today because I knew we were going to be talking about it, and I hadn't seen it in so long. And I just had this warm fuzzy, like all up, because it's such a good episode and it's so endearing.
Yeah, it really is. Yep.
I love that episode. And like you said, like it is a love letter to Trek about this whole trope. It's not making fun of the trope. Like,
No,
I mean, it's like,
It's not. It really isn't. Even though Mariner's whining about it, it's
Right.
not really. It's just it is what it is, and we know what's going to happen. So hold on. So good.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a good one. That's a good way to open up the show. That's a good one to open up the show with.
Yeah.
Fran, what's your first one you want to talk about?
Well, of course, me being the OG that I am and the OT that I am, I'm going to do TOS episodes. Just to let y'all know from the beginning, that's what I'm doing. And my first one is called What Are Little Girls Made Of? TOS Season 1, Episode 7. This episode was written by Robert Bloch. Robert Bloch wrote the book Psycho.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, he wrote the book.
Wow. I never knew that.
Yeah. And it was directed by James Goldstein. Okay. Also, this is the one, and I'm not kidding. I'm not making this up, y'all. This is the one where Kirk holds the full-blown penis in his hand. If you don't believe me, Google
it.
Google it. The picture will pop up.
All you have to do is Google Kirk and penis.
And it will pop up because he's in this cave with this stalagmite in his hand. I'm like, did they really know?
It's a penis-shaped stalagmite, and I swear they did it on purpose.
There is no way they could not have done that.
They were having so many yucks.
Yeah,
with the censors.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? I don't. Do you think William Shatner really? Because he wouldn't. I don't know if he knew or not.
He knew.
And then after it was done, did he say, y'all can't do that? I'm like, we doing it anyway.
I'm sure he was in on the joke and having a good old time with it. He was the one who messed up every single take of the kiss, so they had to use one take.
He was the one.
Well, this is the one where Nurse Chapel goes down to find her fiance down on this planet.
Dr. Corby.
Yeah, I got Dr. Corby. He's working on advancing androids. Roger Corby. But first, of course, he had some red shirts got killed by Lurch. Oh, excuse me, not Lurch. But this is the guy that plays Lurch on the Addams Family. It is the one that plays Lurch on the Addams Family. So they kind of kidnapped Kirk when he's still hiding there, but he's still down in this cave. But they're making these androids, and they have a way that they can transfer their mind into the android that they're making. It's on this table, and it whirls around. They got these two bodies and everything. They're still in a cave down underneath on the ground, and Kirk transfers this thought in his head, calling Spock a half-breed. That's why they knew. They kind of like, no, Kirk wouldn't really do that. He wouldn't. That's not Kirk, So that's how they found out that this was an android. There's a murder suicide where the lady, the lady and Corby, which the one that we saw first, he turns out to be an android also. All this is taking place in a cave. In caves, I guess I should say plural caves. And so it was really interesting the way they shot it, the way the storyline comes out, because they also touch on Corby and Nurse Chapel in Strange New Worlds. But of course, this happens in the future of Strange New Worlds. So it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was all that technology in caves.
I really enjoyed that episode.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's a good one. I mean, the penis aside, the writing is really good on this one. I think it's a really good story because it's a nice little mystery. Like you said, there's a murder suicide. There's romance. There's a surprise ending.
Yes,
So I really enjoyed
and the writer who would really know that this guy is the same guy that wrote the book.
Right. Oh yeah, right. Well, it's apropos.
It is, because Corby is psycho. Because that's what I loved about this episode, because it really did, Corby was off, right? It was a really good psychological depiction of somebody who's gone off the rails, right? Because what type of decision did he have to make to, how did he arrive at the decision to transfer his consciousness into this this droid, and then it made me appreciate what the character traits that we saw in Roger Corby in Strange New Worlds later, because you saw inklings of that, you saw them building towards that, where he's the goal at all costs,
and
he's
the ego and his ego
and the ego, the hubris.
He looks a lot better in Strange New World, because he was kind of fine in Strange New Worlds. He was
much younger.
He's
much younger. So I like that. You guys are right. This story had everything. This one had me really paying attention. A lot of times when I watch TOS, because it's a different type of storytelling and because it's a longer form of storytelling, I find myself doing other stuff while the show is on, and then I come back, but this one, I was watching every moment of this episode.
It's really eye-catching, and it's you just said it. Some you can listen to, and some you have to really sit down and watch. I mean, I do. Some Trek I just have to watch.
And everybody gave a really good performance.
They did
in this episode. And I love the fact that I got to see Majel more in this episode. That's another reason why I really enjoy, is because she's very prominent in this episode. And that's so rare, for her to have that much dialogue. Well,
so I really like that episode, that Kate, and all this stuff, all this technology and murder suicide and killing people and changing people to androids took place in a cave. So
in a cave.
Well, I've got one. One of my, I don't know. It's a favorite episode, but it's not a favorite because of what happens in the cave. But it is a cave episode. But I do like what happens in the cave, and that is Heart of Stone, Deep Space Nine, season 3, episode 14. And that's the one. Yeah, that's the one where Kira and Odo, they're researching for a Maquis raider, and then Kira it gets trapped in this expanding crystal formation outgrowth from the cave, and Odo spends the whole episode trying to set her free. It's not a lot going on in the cave, but there's a really significant development, especially as you're watching Deep Space Nine, because this is the first time where we find out that Odo has feelings for Kira.
Yes.
And that's really early on. Like, it's way before they ever do anything about it,
What season is this? I'm sorry.
Season 3.
3? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
wow.
Season 3. But the other reason that I love this episode, that I think it's such a wonderful episode, is because this is the episode where Nog petitions Captain Sisko to sponsor him as an entrant to Starfleet Academy. And so like I think that the B storyline is stronger than the A storyline, but the A storyline is also very pivotal for what comes later. But like, just to like,
both.
if you guys,
both.
both. But if you haven't seen this episode, like in the cave, they spend a lot of time jawing. Like it's just jaw. Like basically the crystalline form like keeps traveling up Kira's body. And so it traps her foot, and then it's up to her thighs, and then it's up to her midriff, and then towards the end of the episode, it's about to cover her mouth and her nose and stuff. And it's like she and Odo like have heart to hearts, right? And then Odo finally confesses. She's like, "Look, leave me." And Odo's like, "Yeah, no, that's not happening." And then she keeps pressing him on it and pressing on, like, "Why won't you just leave?" Like, first of all, real Kira would have just accepted that, but like, why won't you just leave? And he's like, "It's because I love you and I can't leave you." And it's a big dramatic moment. And when I first saw that, it hit so well. I mean, now that I've seen it a million times, I'm like, yeah, I know you love her, whatever, it's going to be unrequited for several years now.
Right. We got so long to go.
Right. So she has no clue.
Right. But when I first saw it, I was like, oh, wow, dude, what? And it made sense to me. Like, I could see it. It wasn't a stretch. It wasn't like, oh, y'all are just hitting me out of left field with some bullshit. Like, it made perfect sense, and it was a big, deal, then. So that was like a big bombshell to all of us. And then you find out that it's not Kira at all. Like Odo starts to put things together, because apparently she was supposed to have been like shot at by the Maquis that they were chasing, who, instead of just killing her ass while she was immobilized, like ran away for some reason that we didn't make any sense to anybody, and and so Odo starts putting 2 and 2 together and realizes that it's not Kira. So again, you got the like another entity, an evil entity in the cave.
I didn't either. I know.
Right. And when on the first time you watched it, right? I didn't either. It totally got me.
You got
totally got me.
Yeah, definitely got me. I was like, oh, well, we know Kira's going to get out of there, but I didn't expect that, And
a little side tidbit of that was that Ira Stephen Bear, at least in the companion, they had to get special permission from Salome to put her name at the end of the episode instead of
nobody would know.
Yeah. So, that reminds me. I forgot to let everybody know that this episode was written by Ira Stephen Bear and Robert Hewitt Wolf, and it was directed by Alexander Singer.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good writing team right there.
Right. So now that Fran has said Salome's name, now we know that like it was in fact the female changeling acting as Kira. And and I was like, damn, these Dominion people are messed up. How jacked up is that they would go to all of that? And she was like, I just needed to see how deep, because you said you weren't coming to us, you weren't coming to the J. What has a hold on you with these humanoids, And she found out that he was in love. She put him through all of that psychological drama. Just to
she got him every single time.
Every time. I mean, talk about an abusive relationship.
Oh my God. Wait, if you could have seen to me, it was going to take a drink. She was like, God damn it. She put a drink back down.
I was about to have a sip of tea, and I was like, wait, hold up.
wait,
There's
my
more.
point is this.
Gaslighting, abusive.
Ooh, child.
Yes.
It's a most abusive, and he just kept coming back.
Didn't he?
Mhm.
Oh, I would shake my head every time, like,
Didn't he?
Odo, come on. Dang.
I mean, that's, Odo, I feel for you, baby, but like, break free.
Right.
Break free.
Run.
It's no good for you. She
I think
showed you
like
who she was the first time. Here you come back with some more.
Like, I think they got like a battered women's shelter down on Bajor you can go to get some help. Some shit, Odo. Come on. Like,
They needed a counselor way before Ezra.
He needed a counselor way before Ezra. Yes, poor Odo. Because then he ends up going to these people anyway. But, we know that. But
yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I understood his reasoning for it. He could be the change that he was seeking in the world.
Yeah.
And he was the only one who could do it.
Yeah, only one.
Yeah. This was an excellent episode. And I want to say that I totally forgot about the name. I knew the name of this episode, and you said cave. I was like, what cave was it? And then I was like, oh, because I know this episode as the Nog episode. Because this is such a poignant Nog piece. This is this is hit the beginning of his arc,
Yes, the beginning of the change of his arc. Yes.
Right, the change of his arc. So when you said, I was like, Heart of Stone, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. So this was most cave episodes don't have like something. It's usually the cave.
Right. And that's it.
Yeah, but wow, DS9 at its best, man.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, like, I love these two men. Ira Stephen Bear and Robert Hewitt Wolf. I mean, they're just such great writers, such great storytellers. And, like that, even all these years later, I'm still watching these same episodes and still engrossed in the stories, even though, and then, right. And then, paired with such an incredible cast, I mean, because it doesn't work. And I watch Aaron as Nog on there, and he's so compelling, and I feel his pain. And he's trying to tell Cisco that I'm not a good Ferengi. Like, I'm not. I got to find another way of being, a different way of being. And I don't want to be like my dad with a wasted life. Yeah. His dad was not a good Ferengi. His dad was a brilliant engineer, but that wasn't something that Ferengi were supposed to be spending their time doing.
Yeah.
No more than a Klingon could be a counselor.
Right. So going against the grain, and how, like, I mean, it was just it's a powerful episode to me every single time.
It is.
Yeah.
Just you recounting, I'm like, no. I miss that guy.
I know you do.
That's my friend.
I have my father's hands.
Yeah. And my uncle's tenacity.
Boy, did he show his worth.
He sure did, So, you got like, and then there's poor love struck Odo. And it's a momentous thing because Odo is always so
rigid.
Yeah, very rigid, very closed off, like, doesn't let any emotions show except for anger. And anger and sarcasm.
I was gonna say sarcasm, though.
Right. Like deeper.
Good at that. He's real good at that.
He really is.
But deeper emotions, like you forget, and then you realize, like, oh, there's so much more to this character. It was beautiful. Anyway,
these emotions. The most emotions I've ever seen him show was when A Simple Investigation. Remember that lady came on?
Oh, yeah.
He had bedroom eyes.
Oh, yeah. I like that one.
Yeah, I like that one too. And like she was a cop too, or an investigator as well.
Oh, yeah, in the end. Yeah, that was another one. I didn't see that coming either.
Didn't see that coming either. And that one's that's an unsung episode. Like, people don't talk about that episode a lot, but that was very powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
I just felt so much for him.
Yeah. All right. So, Yvette, what's your next one?
So I'm going to stray a little and talk about a specific cave. So caves of Makala. So caves of Makala are the caves that the symbionts in Trill live in. That's their natural environment. So if they're not joined, that's where they would live and that's where they communicate and all of that stuff. So we see these caves when the only time we see these caves is when we go to Trill, which we don't go to Trill much, right? And I love Trill. I wish we knew more because Jadzia is, our favorite Trill. I think everybody could say that here in the
Yes.
Yeah,
screen.
everybody on this screen for sure.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
definitely. So I wanted to talk about the 3 episodes when we go back to the caves of Makala. And the first episode is Equilibrium, DS9, season 3, episode 4. And it's the teleplay is from Renee Echeverria, story from Christopher Teague, and Cliff Bowl is the director. Cliff does a lot of
Mm.
directing. Jadzia is plagued by disturbing hallucinations that turn out to allude to the dark past of the Dax symbiont and of Trill.
Mm.
So this one, who knew? Like this is another one where what?
Right?
What is happening? And it's like the layers that we find out in this. We got Jadzia where she she comes into the one thing I wanted to say before we started, this is when we find out that Cisco is from New Orleans. Did you
Oh,
know that? It's like the
right.
first time. Like I saw that on Memory Alpha and I was like, oh wow. But
Oh
then
my
I
God.
watched it. I'm like, yeah, he's talking about my father's restaurant in New Orleans. And then it goes from there. We find out more, of course. But yeah, this is the first time that it's mentioned. So they all go to Cisco's. This is when we find out Cisco is a cook and they all come to eat. Jadzia comes late and she's playing this piano that Jake has. And she's like, I don't know how to play this song. I don't know where this song came from. And she's like really agitated. She goes off on Ben. She goes off on Bashir. She goes off on Kira. Where did she go off on Kira? So, and then she's having hallucinations about something that's going on. We find out it's memories. They take a trip back to Trill, finally to the caves of Makala, and we find out that she has another host that we never knew about, right? And
Mhm.
and come to find out he's a killer. They had to get rid of him. I think he was only there for 6 months. His name was Duran Ballar.
Duran. Yeah.
Duran Ballar. And he came. He's the host before Curzon. And come to find out, they find out having him. So with Trill, they tell you that only a few people only few people in Trill can be joined.
Right.
Well, we find out in this episode that is not true, because this guy who was a killer, he was a deviant, he was able to be a host for
Joined.
6 months.
Yeah.
When they were telling people if it doesn't work out, if the person's not right, it's going to last a few days. That is not true. They don't have enough symbionts to go with all the people. And they telling, you can't tell anybody because it'll just be chaos, right? So Ben says, listen, you either wake Jadzia up, let her keep the Dax symbiote, or I'm telling on you.
Right.
I'm telling everybody because you're not taking away my friend. So it comes, Jadzia says, I'm okay with it. She meets up with what's his name?
Duran.
Duran, just in the pool, and he becomes part of her and she deals with that. Um, this is the first time we find out that the spots go all the way down. Right, because it's on her feet, I think, when she's laying on the thing. We find out that Trills have surnames and they're replaced by the Dax symbiont because we didn't know that.
Right.
But the only Dax surnames we know are Joran, Balar, and then of course Esri, who's Tegan. We never know. I don't think we ever find out what Jadzia's last name is. Let's see. In this one, another thing I like about it is Julian changes in this one. Like he becomes a lot more mature because he was
That's true.
so goddamn annoying until this episode. It was all about trying to get Jadzia in bed.
Yeah.
And he was just so immature. And I in the end you realize that this is his arc. We get
Mm-hmm.
that. But boy, was he annoying. But in this
Yeah.
episode, he is generally concerned about his friend. And he is being a doctor.
Right.
He's becoming that Starfleet doctor that we're all, just trying to put that puzzle together and wearing his heart on his sleeve. And
Mm-hmm.
he's becoming that true, Starfleet doctor. Um, and it also reminds us that Jadzia is not human. Because I always said
Right.
that's when you're like, oh, that's right. Jadzia's not human. She is from Trill. And I love
Mm-hmm.
that we brought her to her home world. Um, we don't go back to the caves of Makala until season 3, episode 4, same as the as DS9 of Discovery and Forget
Mm.
Me Not.
Mm.
This was written by Alan McElroy and Chris Silvestri and Anthony Manorville. It was directed by Hanley Culpepper.
Culpepper,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. This is the first time we go back to Trill since Equilibrium. Um, we find out that the Trill or the symbiont population has been decimated
Mm.
because of the burn. They don't really explain it, but I'm thinking, most of the Trills that were joined, a lot of them were in Starfleet,
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Or they
most of
were
them.
on other worlds.
Or
They
they were
might
on
not,
other world, yeah, stuff
Yeah.
like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
in this episode, Burnham and Adira Tal travel to Trill in order to repair the connection between Adira and the Tal symbiont. And because it's been so long since we had been there, uh, Adira doesn't have the connection because she's a human, so the connections are not there, and they
Mm.
go in the pool, and then we get to see
Oh,
all of her. It just gave, I know it gave all of us chills because I
It
mean this
did.
is when,
It
so
did.
Discovery was when we would be in chats talking about
Uh-huh.
what happened in that episode, and we would go in and find out, oh, that he's got the Picard uniform on, or he's got that uniform on.
Mm.
There's one with a different type of uniform. So it was, I think, because we all, don't get enough Trill. When that happened, we were really happy to see it. The
Mm-hmm.
third episode is also Discovery. It's season 5, episode 3, Janal. And it's not big, it's not a big cave episode, but the caves of Makala are in there. It's written by Carl Jarrow and Lauren Wilkinson. It's directed by Andy. I'm so sorry, Andy. Armor Armaganian. I'm thinking it's Armaganian. So they're going on this quest. I believe this is the one with the quest, right? They're trying to find the
Yeah.
progenitors, right? And we go to Trill. One of the clues is Trill. And it's called Zara Bix, and she's doing a Jantara, and she transfers one of her hosts, Janal Bick's memory into Dr. Cobra.
oh, and
And
he played that part.
yeah,
Yes, he
this was a
did.
Cobra X episode.
Yes, it was. I said, you better go ahead, Wilson, with your bad self.
Right,
Yeah,
with the bad
right. I love that. I love that Wilson got such a great episode, and his range, he wasn't, because he's always in such distress.
I know. And
you
poor
know, they,
baby just
they killed him off, brought him back, and boy, that's all they really dealt with was the man
mm-hmm.
died, and that's all they talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, he really got to spread his wings and show you the kind of actor he was. So, that was it. It was just my love for Trill and just not getting enough of supposedly one of the Federation's you know big partners.
Founding
And
members, right?
I don't think it was a founding member, but definitely a member that had been with the Federation for a long time. And
Mm-hmm.
then we get to Discovery and we get them back,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, and then, we're big DS9 fans. So, we want to see more Trills.
Trill.
I love that. I love that
You
list. I
know,
mean, that's great. Go ahead, Fran.
TNG introduced them, but they were radically surfacey changed.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very different in
Yeah.
TNG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was there. That was the because I appreciate the host, because the host has a lot of
It had a whole bunch of stuff.
yeah, there's a lot going on there, and I think the groundwork was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love thanks for taking me down memory lane with the trills, because
Yeah.
I mean that's a really good one for the caves because you don't until you put it in that perspective, I didn't realize I wasn't consciously saying to myself how important those caves were. And then the great thing about those caves is that nothing bad is happening to people in those caves.
Nothing.
Those caves are like healing caves. So they're giving us a whole nother perspective on the cave.
Yeah.
And it also made the trill say they had to look at this another way. That not only trills can be hosts, other people, humans can be hosts too.
Well, I had no choice.
Yeah, they had no choice. Right. That's what you mean. Yeah.
Because of course,
Necessity forced them to accept that. Yeah.
They were against it at first. Get your ass off this planet. We know,
Right.
So I'm glad they did that too.
Yeah. I love that episode with Jadzia too, because we find out so much more about Trill culture and Trill society than we've ever gotten a chance to see. And those caves were cool, and the pool in those caves. And I thought they did that really well in Discovery too.
Yes.
It was kind of like, oh, I want to do that, I want to go swimming with some symbionts. That looks cool as shit.
In some almond milk.
Right, like something
peaceful.
Right.
It looked peaceful,
really
right?
it looked really
did.
peaceful.
Especially when Jadzia had that white on.
Yeah,
she walked into, I was like, wow, that's so peaceful.
It does.
Just to calm you.
Serene and peaceful,
serene. Yeah.
Yeah, and I loved learning about the attendants to the symbionts,
Guardians.
The guardians. That was really cool. That's all good memories right there.
Yeah, right.
That you just brought back. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, Fran, what you got next?
Okay, it's an episode called From TOS, of course, All Our Yesterdays, Season 3, Episode 23. It was written by Jean Lisette Arostay. Please forgive me if I don't. Arostay. She was one of the women writers, because Jean took chances on women writers back there, starting with DC Fontana. And it was directed by Marvin J. Chomsky. Of course, the triumphant Kirk Spot McCoy.
Works every time.
Every time. Trapped into time frames of a planet's past. They go down to this library thing. It's still.
Is this Memory Alpha, right?
I'm sorry?
They go into Memory Alpha. Is this the Memory Alpha one? No?
With Mr. Ataz.
Ataz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the librarian. And so they get trapped in between it. Kirk, the whole thing doesn't take place in the cave, but I thought the important part took place in the cave because Kirk is in this town where this lady is being accused of a witch.
Right. I forgot about that.
It's like they're supposed to be going back to the past history of this planet, but yet the past history of this planet is exactly like Earth history.
Exactly.
I know. Dying. So, that. So of course, Kirk has to save the day on the planet in the past. All that stuff. You know how he does. But McCoy and Spock is in a cave with Mariette Hartley, who has on a skimpy outfit, of course. And they find out that she can't go back because if she does, the elements in this cave has changed her whatever. And if she goes back to where she's from, she will die. This same element is reverting Spock back to his ancient self. So he falls for, her name is...
He becomes a Romulan.
Yeah. He falls Zorobeth. He falls for Zorobeth.
Zarabeth.
Thank you.
She
falls for her in her skimpy outfit. And that's because the cave has this effect on him. He doesn't want to leave her.
It's cold as shit out there, but the bitch is half naked. Okay, I'm just let me just say that. It's cold as shit, but the bitch is half naked.
Yeah.
So
they got
thank you, TOS.
Inside the cave.
In full makeup.
inside the cave, she has on the skimpy outfit. And outside the cave, she has on all these furs and animal skins
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah. At least she got the animal furs on the
She
outside.
did.
At least, yeah.
She did.
I mean, does she even have shoes? Shit.
Not yet. I didn't see him. So, but he falls for her,
He
Spock.
does. He falls hard.
For her.
He falls hard. He always falls hard.
Yeah, when he falls, he falls.
Yeah, he do.
Mhm.
And they tried to go back individually and they couldn't. So the little chicken shit librarian, he gets out of there before he runs his ass on out of there. And they have to come back together or not at all. So
Well, the librarian got them back, and as soon as he got them all back, like he was like, pew, he put in his little disc, and he was like, I'm out. Like,
yeah, but
well, he had to go because it was gonna be destroyed.
right, because
He had
the
no
planet
choice.
was about to be destroyed.
He had to get the hell out of there.
And so they all got back, and as soon as they all got back, the star went nowhere and destroyed the planet.
Yeah.
But
The
most
end.
of the stuff the end. Cave, it was in the cave and all that, but of course Kirk had to go play hero on this planet in the past or future.
Like,
we don't know.
he got separated from he gets separated from Spock and McCoy, like some kind of way when they went through the.
Because he had to go and play hero.
Right. But I mean, but you're right.
Why
like
you mad though? That's his job. He's the captain.
They had to go play hero.
Hero and help this lady.
Well, I mean, thank God he did, because he was the only one that was able to get back to Mr. Ataz.
But he had to go and help the Horetta out, okay? He had to help Horetta out.
Yeah, he had to help out Horetta.
Yeah. Horetta out and see that Horetta.
Because she was a hoe.
She was. She was. They were trying to say she was a witch, but she was a hoe.
Right, because she was making too much money independently contracting. She was independently contracting.
They wasn't going. The men weren't going for that.
She was a financially independent woman who did not need them. But then she turned around and acted just like every type of woman they was trying to get somebody lynched. Like, he's a witch.
Sure did.
She had fun with it, and it was like, witch. He done got her butt out of prison and saved her from the stake. And the first thing she did was turn on him.
Whatever.
But you're right, Fran. The most important part of that episode was in the cave. And that's what makes this episode compelling, because we gradually see Spock losing his shit. But they do it so well. And they're usually, especially in third season, they're usually not that subtle in the third season. They're not that subtle, period, most of the time, but especially in the third season.
They're not. They was getting ready to get out of there, and they was knocking people over the head with shit by then.
But Spock's transition from sane, logical, in control, button down, completely in control Spock to like this out of control dude who almost kills McCoy.
He should have killed him.
He should have just killed his ass. Just prejudice ass.
Racist motherfucker. I can't stand him.
He was, what?
Oh God.
Anyway, but they did a great job with it. And then to see, I loved watching Leonard Nimoy play a man in love. That was very seductive too.
It was very sexy. Oh my gosh.
I just think Leonard was Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, he could have gotten it.
Yeah, many times. Over and over.
He was on what's the show that she went to? He was on Becker.
Yeah.
He was a guest star on Becker.
Yeah.
He still was looking good.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they just age him so beautifully. Aged so beautifully. Yeah.
What? So here's a little tangent. What is William Shatner eating? Why does he look better than
almost 100? Thank you. What's in the water? What's in the water?
What is he doing? That's you know what Patrick Stewart is. That's karma.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah, karma's a bitch.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
tangent over.
Okay.
Back
all
to
right.
caves.
Well, he does, once he got those hair pieces fixed, he's looking,
Yeah.
last
Well,
one
he
is
was always a good looking man.
Always.
last
Yeah.
one is
Told you.
yeah,
My very
last
first
one
crush in the world was Captain Kirk.
Oh,
was
you got
it?
it. Especially
Yes, I was like
especially when he
6 years
tore his
old
shirt. Oh, sweet
with the crush on
Jesus.
Captain Kirk.
6.
I what it tells you a lot.
when he look when he went down to the planet, and it's always a meme about him having a fight with his cat. When he went, what was that? A nook time. They say he had a cat with a
Scratch.
Right across the chest. I know.
That's right.
Oh, I would just one day, I would love to meet somebody at a convention who does that cosplay that I actually want to look at doing that cosplay.
Yes. Because it never turns
With
out
Kirk
well.
and his.
Never
I mean,
turns out
says
well.
the girl who's like well into middle age, and I'm just a chick, right? Not looking my hottest either, but I'm just saying. It's give me some eye candy, and please just don't be gay. Like, just don't be gay. Like, give me somebody who's not gay to look at, because I don't have any enjoyment at looking at gay men's nice
No.
fucking bodies, because it's unattainable. Like, so where is my enjoyment for that? Like, so when you're on the cruise and you're parading around and you
Your
look
ass out.
fine, your ass is cute and taut, and the muscles are glistening, and it's not for me. So I don't really give a shit. I care not to see you.
I don't
We're
care.
the straight men.
I mean, bye at least.
I'm
Like,
looking- you looking-
like
y'all
I'll
looking-
take bye.
y'all Y'all looking for the straight men. I'm looking for the gay women.
Oh, girl, you are looking too, because that you
Yeah.
got to look hard for that.
I don't-
Hard
In between the raindrops and shit, like there might be one or two
might be.
sprinkled around. Might be.
I think there would be more at the conventions than there would, I guess, at the cruise.
The cruise is very gay, very gay male centered,
Yes.
but not
Yeah.
as many women
Yeah.
at all. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
of course, black. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you ain't getting nothing now.
yeah, that's good.
Now, right
You
now,
asking for
you
way
just
too
make the
much.
subset
Getting
way too
thinner
damn
and-
small. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
shit.
Maybe,
I mean,
maybe,
I got it. I have to broaden my horizons. You definitely gonna have to broaden yours, chick.
maybe they'll be at Trek Long Island.
We'll see.
Maybe so. We shall
We'll see.
We'll
All right.
see.
All right, we majorly digress, so we're gonna move on. Okay,
You always,
that
what
was
we
it.
always do.
We're only on the second one, so
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna go to my second one,
Mhm.
which is the Andorian incident from Enterprise,
Ooh.
season 1, episode
Yeah.
7. And again, shameless plug: if you're on Patreon and you're listening to the
Or not.
Enterprising Sistas, you should join Patreon if you're not, and listen to the Enterprising Sistas, because Fran and I deep dive this episode.
Yes, we did.
And we had a lot of fun doing it. This episode, the teleplay was by Fred Decker. The story was by Rick Berman, Brandon Braga, and Fred Decker. And it was directed by girlfriend Roxanne Dawson.
Of course it
So
was.
this is when the Enterprise visits a Vulcan monastery, only to find that, in the midst of it, it's overrun by Andorians, right? So we get there, Archer and T'Pol, and T'Pol's like giving everybody the lowdown, like, this is how you act in the monastery, da 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 da. Don't be going up in there and
Don't be an asshole.
don't be an asshole. Like, don't be going up in our sacred holy place being disrespectful,
Yeah.
American tourists.
Please.
Put on a shirt and some shoes
The
and
smell
stop
is enough.
putting your chewing gum all over the place. And like, don't touch shit.
Put on some deodorant.
and some deodorant, please. Right.
Yes.
And so they go in there, but then the guy at the monastery is acting like really shady. And like, what's going on here? And we comes to find
Extra
out
Vulcan.
he was acting extra Vulcan. I mean, like Vulcans are always going to give you shade, but the degree of shade that this dude was given, I mean, it was, and it's like, and you're at the monastery where people come to visit. Like, it's kind of it was his job to be showing people around. Like, but he was like, nah, y'all got to split. He's like, okay, we're good. Bye-bye. We don't need to buy anything. And they're like, we want to visit some more. You know how they are. So they got themselves in there and they noticed that things are not awry. And like, I think somebody somebody had read a weird reading on the tricorder or something.
So
they saw
one of the vases
reflection.
one of the vases were toppled over, and you're talking about a Vulcan monastery. That should not
and
be.
they saw
Right. And then they saw a reflection
of the Andorian behind the wall there.
Right. And then so that's when Archer and Trip were like, uh-oh. And they told T'Pol, like T'Pol's like, uh-oh. And then that's why they stayed. And they made themselves, basically forced their way in there. They find out there's a bunch of Andorians taken over who are basically holding everybody in the monastery hostage. And the Andorians are not nice. And they beat up Archer and shit. They're like, why are you here? We don't trust you. They take everybody captive. That they keep insisting that these Vulcans have been monitoring them from this monastery. And all the Vulcans are like, what are you talking about? We don't have any monitoring equipment. This is an ancient ass monastery. All we've got here are relics, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, Malcolm comes down from the ship with some Marines. Archer and them sneak them in because they've been sneaking around and they found some weird readings. Malcolm and them come find it. The Andorians and them they're in a firefight. We find we find caves behind the wall, a big, huge fucking cavern, big cavern. What's in the cavern, guys? Surveillance equipment. It's like a Death Star worth of a cavern.
Like a Death Star.
It's huge.
Okay, it is.
It is the Death Star. It really
is, right?
People walking around. There's surveillance. What?
And they looking all bureaucratic and shit. Like this is their job. Like they are punching a clock.
Yep.
It's a whole fully staffed Death Star.
It is.
Monitoring the Andorians. And the Andorians are like, see? And everybody's looking at the Vulcans like, you lying sons of,
Mm-hmm.
And like T'Pol is like, God dang it.
And T'Pol's like, I've been sitting here like vouching for you guys.
Smelling these humans and everything.
Man.
Right. Smelling these humans all like, and y'all lying to me too? I mean, it was horrible, right? So
yeah.
And then Archer, makes a deal with the Andorians. And he's like, look, here's your shit. Let everybody go. You found out. And here's your data.
Yep.
And we're out. Deuces. Y'all duke it out now.
It's all on you.
Also, I think that was the beginning of kind of sowing the alliance thing. That's when the Andorians became friends. Because they owe the humans something for helping them.
Yeah, it never ended. They always talked about that episode. I mean, T'Pol's mother in the end had to, it was the fallout from that incident that got her, fired from her job, and then all the stuff that happened in the later episodes. So yeah, it never ended. That that episode lasted a long time.
Oh my God, it did. I mean, that was it had ramifications far surpassing that one episode. And I just thought and as Fran and I say, it's a perfect Sabrina episode.
Oh, yeah.
Vulcans can't live with them, can't kill them.
Really should have though.
They really should have, many times over, several times. I mean, that's my second one.
Yeah.
And that episode was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
like the pacing was good.
Yeah, the pacing.
The writing was good.
The pacing was really good. It was a really good episode. And another one where I didn't see that coming when I first saw that one. Right. And I can watch that episode of Enterprise more than once.
Okay.
Yes. But that episode I can watch more than once.
Yeah. Yes. There's not many of them, but that one I can definitely watch more than once. It's really good. It is really good.
Okay, Yvette, come on with your.
Oh, we got three we're doing?
One.
Okay.
We can do one more each
All
if
right,
we make it quick.
Yeah, so my third one will have to be Waltz. DS9, season 6, episode 11. Man, let me tell you something. This episode is crazy. It's written by Ronald D. Moore and it's
Of course.
directed by Renee Auberjonois. I'll never say it right. Auberjonois. Am I saying that right?
Auberginois.
Auberginois. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you. See, somebody says it, then I know how to say it right.
Yeah.
Following the destruction of the USS Honshui, Cisco is severely injured and trapped alone on a deserted planet in a cave, of course, with
Of course.
Ducat, who become
Ducat.
increasingly unstable. I
Mhm.
mean, do you have to write anything else?
No, right?
Just that. Oh my God. This is
God.
actually the last encounter between Cisco and Ducat until the finale. Like they have this, and then the next time they
Wow,
meet
that's right.
at the end. Yeah. This one is about Ducat's delusional rantings. Well, to set the stage, this is Ducat is on the ship. He's getting ready. He so this is right after um Zial was killed by Damar.
That's right.
This is so they took him away, they got him help. He's seeing a counselor, and now they're getting ready to send him to prison. He's going to be a prisoner of war. And Cisco is on the ship because I guess he's going to
He's
testify.
escorting him.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
escorting,
right.
but he's going to testify, right? So the ship, the Dominion attacked the ship. Oh, no, the Cardassians attacked the ship. They get out an escape pod. Ducat saves Cisco.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing we know, Cisco is all battered up. He's got his arm is in a splint, and Ducat is roaming around, talking about nonsense. So, Ducat is extremely delusional as usual.
I mean,
Yeah.
like serious, like hallucination, like
Yeah.
really delusional.
Well, he
now,
just
because
lost,
he's become completely unhinged after Zial's death.
after Zial's death. Yes. So, his delusional rantings go from Cisco is his good friend. He's calling him Benjamin constantly. The officers on DS9 miss him after he left, after they came back and threw them out of DS9. He was a beloved leader of Bajor.
Of course.
And then of course it gets really crazy when we see Wayun, Damar, and Kira. At first we see Wayun and you're like, wait, is Wayun really there? And then he shoots him. And I'm like, okay. And then we see Damar, and then we see Kira. I'm like, wait, what is it? And then we see all three of them together, and and they're just going in on him. I mean, they're just bantering back and forth, and Kira's just taunting him relentlessly. It is enough to make the audience member go crazy as much as she taunts him. And then she has this evil laugh that when you watch it, you're like, Jesus,
right?
So it is like a psychological thriller thing going on, he justifies the occupation. It's really crazy because he's delusional about all this stuff, but then his rantings become where he's finally realizing who he really is also. Like he's peeling away his own onion, and finding out we all know he's crazy and all these things that he did, but he's always been the one that says, the occupation has been went on for 40 years before I came along. So he goes, and it's not our fault that the Cardassians were the better species. It's just fate. But it's the Bajorans' problem that they didn't believe it. That's why we had to treat them the way they were. He's for some reason, so he sets up this communication system, and he sets it up and he makes it seem like he's putting out a distress call, but he's really not. So I don't even know what the end plan was for him, because they're just sitting there. There's no plan, right? Ben figures it out and he fixes it. Ducat finds out and he beats Ben to the inch of his life with a metal rod. And then it like goes to commercial, it comes back, and he says to Ben, "You did this to yourself." And I was like, whoa. Whoa, you brought this on yourself. And I was like,
you made
chills. the writing is just, it's
Oh, it's
Ronald
so
D.
good.
Moore, so it's just
Yeah.
spectacular,
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
you got Renee directing it, and he's
Right.
directing Mark Alamo and Avery Brooks,
Right.
and they're
I mean,
just
it's just a tour de force.
Mhm.
This entire episode gives you chills. Like, first of all, Mark Alamo's like one of the only people in the cast who could really hang with
Yeah.
Avery Brooks,
only
like go
one.
toe to
Yeah,
toe, like with
yeah.
intensity and being in that moment. Mark
Mhm.
Alamo is such a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Like, I will always give him that,
Yeah.
because he really brought that character. Like, he was in him, you
Yeah.
know. But
And
every time I think about this episode, I think Misery,
ooh,
the movie with
yes.
Misery with Kathy
Yes.
Bates. It's the same
But
type
the
of
book
premise.
version of it
The
too.
book version is like
Yes.
It's
That's
chilling.
where, when you said
Yeah.
Misery, I thought of the book version. Although
Mhm.
both, and it's
The film.
rarely I say the book and the movie
This
is
is
great,
true.
but they're both
Yeah.
just excellent, right?
It's like
But
it's
the one thing about this episode, I want people to go back and watch it, because at the end, when you talk about Mark Alamo being a great actor, you have
Mhm.
to watch his facial expression when
Yes.
he figures out that he hates Bajorans and
Yeah.
he wants them all dead. There's like this glimmer in his eye,
Yeah.
and
It's deep.
he's figuring out, like, it's crazy, because now we realize Ducat believed everything he was saying.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
wholeheartedly believed it. He
But
Yeah.
wasn't just being an asshole. He
No.
believed everything. And then he finally peeled back that last layer and was like, oh, I do hate them and I do want them dead. And then he goes into this rant about killing everybody. Oh, it's just,
Mhm.
man, it's so good.
Deep
It's so,
Space
Yeah.
so
Nine
good.
is just, oh my God, it is so awesome.
Yeah.
Writing, the directing, the
Yeah.
acting, it's just fantastic. And it pulls you in and you're like, shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
33 years later.
33 years later, exactly. And those performances still stand the test of time.
Yeah.
The writing stands the test of time, the directing stands the test of time, the
All of
editing stands the test of
Yeah.
time, like all of it,
Yeah,
all of
formatted
it.
now, perfect for streaming.
Right.
Format, you
But
know,
so far ahead of its time,
yes, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
everybody, no, people were not willing to accept that form of storytelling. And yet the audience was.
Yeah.
Studios were not,
Were
but
not.
the
Yes.
audience was
People did, yeah.
absolutely ready for it. And now, this is the way that storytelling happens. Like, now I feel it's really refreshing when I see something that's more episodic.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, oh
Oh,
yeah, one of
yeah.
those shows. Like, that's cool. It gives me like a breath of fresh air. Like, I don't have to watch every single episode. I mean, yeah, amazing. Yeah, that's a good one, Yvette.
Yeah, I
Now
love
that's a quintessential cave episode in the
Yes.
sense that you're talking about, like, looking at the cave as a metaphor for the
Yes.
interior deep dive into
Yep.
into the psyche.
Yeah. The cave was also an actor in that,
Mhm.
because it was so important. Yeah.
Isn't this the same one where the spike gets in his ass and Kira has to pull the spike out?
No.
No.
That was in a
That's totally
cave.
different.
That was one with Ken
No,
and
they were in a
Kira off
cave.
on it.
At
Yeah.
the end, they found everybody in the cave.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, they were out. He sat on
Yeah.
like some kind of bush or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry about that. I remember
That's it.
Kira being in there with Ducat and
Yeah, that was when she
What's your
was like
next one, Fran?
yeah.
okay, my next one, of course, is the granddaddy of them all. Devil in the Dark. TOS, season 1, episode 25. It was written by Gene L. Kuhn and directed by Joseph Pevney or Peavney. And the mystery of this one is, y'all know the ones, No Kill Eye, that one. Mystery. Why the miners are being killed by, in quote, a monster. Oh my. It all takes place in a cave. Now, when the first time I saw this back in the day, I was like, well, what, the first time you see this, it's such a big mystery, and you don't know whose side to take and who's right and who's wrong. But it all comes out in the wash that nobody is the monster. This is a being, a Horta, that was protecting her babies. These
Yes.
perfectly circled disc balls that she was protecting her babies. She wasn't trying to. They were messing. They were killing her babies. They were destroying them, and she wasn't going to have that. So of course the triumph goes down. Kirk, Spock, and McCoy go, and of course they go down and investigate and everything, and they see what's what. And this is the first time that they said, I think they said, well, can you help? Can you help? The being. He says, I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer.
Not a bricklayer.
Not a bricklayer. He says, oh, okay. So, and then also Spock mind melds with the mommy. And she's like,
Yeah.
I mean, these are my babies. And he actually finds out what the real deal is. That there is a monster. The monster, so-called monster, was a mother protecting her children.
Right. And she was,
And she was a Horta. She was, a different being, but she was, she was just a Horta. So the whole episode is like, you have to look at, you got to look beyond what you think you see or what you think you know, and who is actually a quote unquote monster.
Right.
Neither, because both sides had to look at the other ones differently because of the actions both sides took.
Right.
So yeah, and it all takes place in a cave. Well, actually caves. So they came to this compromise, which I thought was pretty cool. The Horta mom did the cutouts for them to get the mining, to get the ore out. Miners did the mining.
Right. She made passageways for them to safely access.
Yes, to get the ore for what they were. But when it started out, both sides didn't know what the other sides were. They didn't say, this is one of the classic episodes that you have to look at and see that everything isn't like you think it is on the surface. You have to be empathetic, see it from the other guy's point of view, something we were talking about today on
Enterprising Sisters.
Yeah. And then you sit back and you see and you observe that, okay, this is really the way it is.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. And
it's such a good episode.
It is. It's like no kill I. That's a Trek saying. No kill, and when Trekkies know when you say that, they know exactly what episode you're talking about. And the monster excuse me, the mommy is saying, don't kill me. I'm just trying trying to protect my babies.
Yeah. So this episode is like one of my all-time favorite Trek episodes. And I'm so happy that, that you chose to talk about it. Like, because it's one of the first ones that I really remember watching, that I really remember being conscious of this, paying attention to the story. Because I remember seeing Arena, and I remember the fight from Arena, but I didn't really remember the story. But I remember plopping down in front of my grandmother's big console TV, the big wooden console TV, and watching this, and just being transfixed and like going like, oh, there's a message here. And the no kill I mean, I was little and I remember crying when I found out that, it really touched my soul and my heart. And I was like, oh, she's a mommy, and it just lets you know how effective the messaging of Trek can be on so many levels, is why I love when to hear about my friends raising their kids on Trek, because you can't go wrong.
But the basic themes is, and I'm reading this, and it's in a nutshell. It says it explores themes of empathy, compromise, and the idea that monsters, in quotes, are often just misunderstood beings.
Mm-hmm. Right. Who we call a monster is just something different, somebody
Yeah,
different.
yeah, something different, and
Go ahead,
nobody's
Yvette.
really the monster.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So
Go ahead, Yvette. I thought you had something.
I did not.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm agreeing. I love this
Yeah,
episode. Yeah. It's a classic.
it,
it
and
is
it,
a classic.
it was so funny. It was so funny when they did it on a cruise. One of the cruises they did it. They did a reading of it,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a pizza. They had the author was like a pizza, looked like a pizza. It
That's
was
funny.
so funny. And Kitty Shrink was up there doing helping the hoarder out and everything. But it was so because when they do those readings on the cruise, I don't care what episode it is, they can make it way funny.
It's really funny. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's really funny. I'm glad you
What's
did that
yours?
one, and I'm going to do mine really quickly.
Mm.
The last one that I have that I think is one of my favorite cave episodes is The Enemy from TNG season
Oh,
3,
wow.
episode 7.
Right.
Yeah, written
Forgot
by
about that
David
one.
Kemper and Michael Piller, and
Mm-hmm.
directed by David Carson, and it's LaForge and a Romulan are trapped on a
Mhm.
planet that has this massive electromagnetic storm going on.
Mhm.
And, and then they have to basically learn how to live together and they basically save each other's lives on this
Mm-hmm.
planet. And in the meantime, the B story is that another Romulan that was down there because the Romulans had crossed the neutral zone. They were in Federation territory
Mm-hmm.
when they shouldn't have been.
Mhm.
And damn,
Line.
damn Romulans. And then they found like one of the Romulans was injured, and Riker and who else was down there on the
Probably
surface with him?
Beverly. Oh, no, it was Worf.
Riker
Worf.
and Worf
Right.
took the injured Romulan up to the Enterprise so Beverly could treat him.
Right.
And then it turns out like this is clearly written before we knew how closely related Vulcans and Romulans were, because there was nobody around who had any. They didn't have any. There was nothing that Bev could synthesize to help stabilize this Romulan's condition, and Worf was the only one. Apparently, there was some compatibility between the Klingon DNA and the Romulan DNA that Worf could save them, and it was a discussion about whether or not Worf wanted to actually help save this Romulan. And if you remember, Worf's parents were killed by Romulans. So
Mhm.
Worf had a big old F you, I'm not doing it.
Right.
And Bev and Picard were like, you should do it. He's saving a life. And he's like, if your parents had been killed by one of these people, I highly doubt you would be volunteering
That's
to
right.
save them too. And everybody's like, well, it wasn't this Romulan, and Worf's like, and he was about to look like he was about to capitulate. And Bev was like, well, come see him, come meet the Romulan. And so Worf and the Romulan are talking, and Worf's like, well, I have a component in my blood that could save you. And Romulan's like, I'd rather have my hands around your neck and kill you.
Yeah.
And I would rather die than have Klingon anything in me. And Worf was like, see, Bev, I told you, let
Right.
his ass die.
And he did. He
And
died.
he did. And he died.
He's dead.
And that's a dead Romulan.
Dead
And Worf
Romulan.
And you
was
know what?
fine. And everybody, and Picard and all them were like, I can't believe you were going to let him die. And he's like, why? Like, what is wrong with you people? Like, I don't understand. Oh my
Right.
God. So we all get
Worf was like, huh?
right?
And I agree with
I was
Wolf.
actually on TNG Worf's side this time.
I was so on his side. Yeah, and then I would have loved to have seen Worf and Picard have a conversation about this post Locutus
Yes.
and ask Picard how he felt about it then. So smug and arrogant. Oh, Picard. Anyway, so the cave part of the episode is happening on the planet, and the Romulan is like, look, I'm gonna kill you. You're my prisoner, and Geordi's like, I don't think either one of us is anybody's prisoner right now because you're injured and my visor's not working right. And if we want to survive, Shorty, we're both in the same boat. We got to help each other out. And eventually the Romulan sees the logic of what Geordi's saying. Like, and Geordi was like, well, look, sometimes I know, right? The logic in quotes, air quotes. Sometimes, Geordi's like, I forget what his quote was. Anyway, he's like, sometimes you gotta see what the situation is, like, and bend the rules. Like, you've been taught to hate, you've been taught this, but the situation calls me. Like, do you want to die? Basically, is what he said. Do you want to die? Are you ready to die? Like, if you're ready to die, I'm gonna go on my own, but I can't. Shorty.
Right.
They really needed each other. And at the end, both of them admit to their commanding officers, yes, I would have died without his help, and so we get that great Star Trek message of cooperation and not, and trying to look beyond what we're taught and, beyond the stereotypes and blah, blah. And, yay.
But I love that we got the message. They gave the message, but then
there's
like, Worf said,
you all have to die.
Hell no. What did you say? I said, hell no.
You heard? Did I stutter?
That is hilarious. I never even seen it like that before until just now. Oh, what a great message. Let's work together. But on this end, fuck that.
Right. Nah. No. It ain't happening, y'all.
I like this episode even more now.
You see why I fuck with this episode?
That is crazy.
No. Hell no. What did you say? I said hell no.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah. So that's my other cave episode that I feel like is worth a watch.
Definitely. I think I'm gonna go watch that one.
One gamut to the other.
Right.
Just for the Worf story alone. Just because
I don't need another enemy mine story.
No, because all the kumbaya is going on down on the planet.
On the planet.
And that's fine. Right. That's a totally legit experience as well. Of
the thing, kiss my Klingon behind.
Worf just like
both of them.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Or say, no.
Period. Oh my God.
Make a plan? No. No.
Okay, so oh my God, right. This episode, y'all, like, well, we said we were going to talk about some caves, and we talked about some caves. Like, I hope.
And there's so many more caves.
So many more. That's what I'm saying. I hope that you guys out there can find some cave episodes that you like and send them, to us and have discussions with us when you see us at the conventions and stuff, because I'm dying to know what your cave episodes are, because there are plenty to choose from.
Sure. And
thank you, sisters, for joining me on this cave exploration.
We went spelunking.
We did go spelunking.
Now I've been in caves.
Yes, now you have been in a cave. Yeah. You've been in multiple caves now. Yeah. So we want to say thank you, everybody, for listening. Yvette, you have things SyFy Sistas related that you want to let people know?
Sure. Thanks for listening to the SyFy Sister podcast. During the 60th anniversary of Star Trek, we're honored to continue celebrating the franchise we love and to have been named 2025 Best All-Around Star Trek Podcast by Trek Movie. Thank you. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/SyFy Sistas and be part of the mothership. Join the conversation in the SyFy Sistas Book Club on Facebook. Watch our interviews, the live shows, and our infamous Top 10 series on YouTube, SyFy Sistas, Inc. The Trek Geeks Network's presenting sponsor is Fansets. Grab pins and memorabilia from your favorite franchises at fansets.com and use code TrekGeeks, all caps, for 10% off. After listening to this episode, please rate us and write a review. We may just read it on an upcoming episode.
Of course, as always, I need to thank the baddest associate producers in any and all known universes. That's Karen Germera, Stephanie Baker, and Sailor Marge. Ladies, you guys are the bee's knees. We couldn't do a thing without you. We love you. I got all the sisters with that, the bee's knees.
That's right.
That's it. We love you guys. Thanks for listening. Peace, love, and hair grease, friends.
Take care, y'all.
Hey everybody, Sister Tamia here with the shorty shoutouts for this month. We'd like to thank the following patrons for your support. Christina Leah, Fabian Brown, Kelly Laity, Heather and Greg, The Transporter Room, T. Alexander, Kim McLean, Mark R.G., Kat, Anthony Aponte, Frankie Dawn Engelbert, Jay-Z, Pranakasha, JKH, Eric, Lamaya Lancaster, Donna S. Runyon, Ali Ashmead, B. No, Tara, Cleo Townsend, Sandra Aponte, Lenny, Oils Galore, Michael Stakem, Allison Leach Hyde, Mike and Kristen Holton, Ayana Mae Tom, Casey Shafsky, Brad DeMag, Mike Nauer, Cassandra Gerard, Bruce McMillan, L.J., Tara Jefferson, Bernadette Garcia Galvez, Rhonda G., Rita Poussant Nethersole, Bill Erickson, Zakia Graham, Linda Anderegg, Jeffrey Cochran, Old Klein, Peter Heisler, Olga Kravchuk, TJ Jackson Bay, Liza Albright, Kalia Zawaki, Stephanie Baker, Sailor Marge, Stephanie Dole, Jamal Taylor, Scott Jensen, Ann Bradley, L.M., Dave A. Gregory, Eve England, Daphne Boston, Karen Germera, Sue K., Mohammed Noor, Susan V. Gruner, and Anna Post. Thank you all so much for your support. We love you.